and to her astonishment, found a path that hadn't been there before. The path was narrow and winding, lined with flowers that seemed to glow with an ethereal light. As she walked, she felt a sense of peace and anticipation. Aku and the Forest Spirit. In the heart of Nigeria, amidst lush green forests and expansive savannas, lies a small village called Umuahia. This village, known for its rich cultural heritage and traditional values, is home to many stories passed down through generations. One such story is about a young girl named Aku. This is a tale of hardship, kindness, and the mysterious ways of the forest spirits. Aku was a gentle and kind-hearted girl who lived with her aunty, Madam Ifeoma, after the tragic death of her parents. Aku's parents had been well loved in Umuahia, known for their generosity and warm hearts. However, fate had been unkind, leaving Aku orphaned at a tender age. Madam Ifeoma, though blood-related, treated Aku with cold indifference and cruelty. Aku was given the most arduous chores, from fetching water from the distant stream to scrubbing the floors until they shone. Aku's day began before the first light of dawn and ended long after the sun had set. She was responsible for fetching water from the stream, a task that required her to walk several miles carrying heavy clay pots. After that, she would sweep the compound, wash clothes, prepare meals, and tend to the small vegetable garden. While Aku labored tirelessly, Madam Ifeoma's daughter, Neka, lived a life of ease. Neka was spoiled and pampered, treated like a princess. She wore the finest clothes, ate the best food, and never lifted a finger to help with household chores. Her days were spent playing with friends and lounging in the shade, while Aku worked tirelessly under the scorching sun. Despite the harsh treatment, Aku remained kind and gentle. She never complained or showed resentment. She found solace in nature, often wandering into the nearby forest to escape the harshness of her life. The forest, with its towering trees and melodious birds, became her sanctuary. She would sit by the river, listening to the soothing sounds of the water and singing softly to herself. Aku felt a deep connection with the forest, sensing a presence that comforted her in her loneliness. One day, as Aku was fetching water from the stream, she noticed an elderly woman struggling to carry a heavy bundle of firewood. Without hesitation, Aku put down her pots and rushed to help the woman. "Let me help you, Mama," she said, lifting the bundle onto her own back. The old woman, grateful for Aku's kindness, blessed her and said, "Your heart is pure, my child. The spirits of the forest will surely watch over you." Unbeknownst to Aku, the forest was indeed home to spirits who watched over it. These spirits were known to reward those who showed kindness and purity of heart. The elder woman was, in fact, one of these spirits in disguise, sent to test the hearts of those who wandered into the forest. One afternoon, while collecting firewood in the forest, Aku stumbled upon an old twisted tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the hollow, she saw a faint glow. Curiosity got the better of her, and she reached inside, finding a small, intricately carved wooden figurine. As she held it, she felt a strange warmth spread through her fingers. The figurine seemed to pulse with an inner light, and Aku sensed that it was no ordinary object. Unbeknownst to Aku, the forest spirits had taken notice of her. The guardian spirit of the forest, known as Onwa, had been observing her acts of kindness and humility. Onwa was a majestic figure with flowing robes made of leaves and flowers, and eyes that glowed with the wisdom of ages. That night, as Aku slept, Onwa appeared to her in a dream. "Aku, child of the forest, your kindness has not gone unnoticed. You have a heart as pure as the river that flows through this land. Tomorrow, return to the tree where you found the figurine. There, you will find a path that will lead you to your destiny." Onwa's voice was soft and soothing, like the whisper of the wind through the trees. Aku woke up with a sense of purpose and excitement. She knew the dream was no ordinary one. The next morning, Aku did as the spirit instructed. She returned to the twisted tree and, to her astonishment, found a path that hadn't been there before. The path was narrow and winding, lined with flowers that seemed to glow with an ethereal light. As she walked, she felt a sense of peace and anticipation. She followed the path, weaving through the dense forest until she reached a clearing. In the center stood a grand tree, unlike any she had seen before. Its leaves shimmered like emeralds, and its bark glowed with an inner light. The air around the tree was filled with a soft, melodious hum, as if the tree itself was singing a gentle song. As Aku approached, the majestic figure from her dream appeared before her. It was Onwa, the spirit of the forest, a guardian of nature and all that was good. Onwa's presence was overwhelming yet comforting, and Aku felt a deep sense of reverence and gratitude. "Aku," the spirit said, "your kindness and humility have brought you here. I have seen the cruelty you endure and the strength with which you bear it. Today, I bestow upon you a gift. With this gift, your life will change." The spirit handed Aku a small golden seed. "Plant this seed in your backyard. Care for it with the same kindness you have shown to others, and it will bring you great fortune." With tears of gratitude in her eyes, Aku thanked the spirit and hurried back home. She planted the seed in a hidden corner of Madame Ifeoma's garden and tended to it every day, watering it and speaking to it softly. She felt a deep connection to the seed, sensing that it was a symbol of hope and change. To everyone's amazement, the seed sprouted overnight and grew into a magnificent tree within days. Its branches were laden with fruits of all kinds, mangoes, oranges, bananas, and even some exotic fruits that no one in the village had ever seen. The tree's fruits were vibrant and luscious, their colors so vivid they seemed to glow. The air around the tree was filled with a sweet, intoxicating fragrance. But the true magic lay in the tree's golden leaves, which shimmered in the sunlight like precious jewels. Each leaf was a work of art, intricate and delicate, catching the light in a way that made them seem to dance. The villagers were mesmerized by the sight, and word of the miraculous tree spread quickly. Aku carefully picked the fruits and leaves, storing them away. When she took them to the market, the villagers were captivated. The fruits were the juiciest and most flavorful they had ever tasted, and the golden leaves fetched a high price. In no time, Aku amassed a small fortune. She used her wealth wisely, helping those in need and sharing her bounty with the less fortunate. With her newfound wealth, Aku bought a small house for herself. She no longer had to endure the harsh treatment of her auntie. She continued to live humbly, sharing her wealth with those in need and gaining the love and respect of the entire village. Aku's kindness and generosity were like a beacon, inspiring others to act with compassion and empathy. The villagers marveled at Aku's transformation. She had gone from a mistreated orphan to a beloved and respected member of the community. Her story became a source of inspiration, a testament to the power of kindness and the rewards of a pure heart. News of Aku's fortune spread far and wide, even reaching the ears of Prince Obina, the handsome and kind-hearted prince of a neighboring kingdom. Prince Obina was known for his wisdom and fairness, and he was beloved by his people. Intrigued by the tales of the humble girl who had found favor with the forest spirits, he decided to visit Umuahia to see the miracle for himself. When Prince Obina arrived in the village, he was struck by Aku's beauty and grace. Unlike other girls who fawned over him, Aku treated him with genuine kindness and respect. She had no interest in his wealth or status, which only made him admire her more. Aku's humility and warmth were a refreshing contrast to the courtly manners he was used to. Over time, Aku and Prince Obina grew close. They spent long hours talking and sharing their dreams. Prince Obina admired Aku's strength and resilience, while Aku was drawn to the prince's integrity and kindness. It wasn't long before the prince asked for her hand in marriage. The village celebrated the union with great joy, for Aku was beloved by all. Her life had transformed from one of hardship to one of happiness and love. The wedding was a grand affair, filled with music, dancing, and laughter. Villagers from far and wide came to celebrate, bringing gifts and blessings. Aku and Prince Obina were the picture of happiness, their love shining brightly for all to see. As Aku settled into her new life as a princess, she never forgot her humble beginnings. She continued to help those in need, using her position to make a positive difference in the kingdom. Prince Obina supported her wholeheartedly, and together they became a beacon of hope and goodness. Madame Ifeoma watched with growing envy as Aku's fortunes changed. She couldn't understand how the girl she had treated so poorly was now blessed with wealth and marrying a prince. Her envy turned into a burning desire to acquire the same fortune for her daughter Neka. "Why should Aku have all the good fortune?" Madame Ifeoma fumed. "My Neka deserves just as much, if not more." Determined to get the same blessing for Neka, Madame Ifeoma devised a plan. She was convinced that if Neka followed the same steps as Aku, the forest spirits would bestow their favor upon her as well. She sent Neka into the forest with strict instructions to find the old twisted tree and demand the same favor from the forest spirits. Neka, spoiled and ill-mannered, reluctantly entered the forest. Unlike Aku, she was not respectful of nature. She trampled on flowers, snapped branches off trees, and complained about every little inconvenience. The forest, which had been Aku's sanctuary, felt oppressive and eerie to Neka. As she walked deeper into the forest, she felt a sense of unease growing. The trees seemed to whisper, and shadows danced menacingly around her. Neka finally found the twisted tree that Aku had described. She stood before it, arms crossed, and shouted, "Spirits of the forest, come forth and grant me a fortune like Aku's." The forest spirits, displeased by her rudeness and arrogance, appeared before her. They took the form of graceful, glowing figures, their eyes filled with ancient wisdom and disapproval. "You, Neka, have shown no respect for the forest or its guardians. You seek only wealth without understanding the true value of kindness and humility," the spirits declared. Neka was taken aback by their stern faces and powerful presence. "But I am the daughter of Madame Ifeoma. You gave Aku a gift. You must give me one too." The spirits, unimpressed by her demands, handed her a seed, similar to the one they had given Aku. "Plant this seed and care for it as Aku did. Only then will you receive what you desire." Neka returned home and planted the seed, but she lacked Aku's patience and care. She neglected the seed, expecting it to grow and produce wealth on its own. She often yelled at it and kicked the soil in frustration when nothing happened. Her mother, Madame Ifeoma, equally impatient and greedy, urged her to try harder, but neither understood the importance of nurturing and kindness. Days turned into weeks, and the seed showed no signs of sprouting. Frustrated, Neka shouted at the ground and kicked at the soil. One morning, she woke up to find a twisted thorny vine growing where she had planted the seed. The vine grew rapidly, wrapping around her house and spreading thorns everywhere. Instead of fruits and golden leaves, it produced nothing but sharp thorns and poisonous berries. The once grand house of Madame Ifeoma became a tangled mess of thorns. The vine crept into every corner, breaking windows and blocking doors. The villagers, seeing the state of her house, whispered among themselves about the consequences of greed and cruelty. Madame Ifeoma, horrified by the monstrous vine, tried to cut it down, but the thorns pricked her hands, causing painful blisters. The villagers avoided her house, afraid of the cursed vine and the misfortune it represented. Realizing that they had brought this misfortune upon themselves, Madame Ifeoma and Neka sought Aku's forgiveness. They approached her humbly, tears in their eyes. "Aku, we have wronged you greatly. Our greed and unkindness have led to our downfall. Please forgive us," Madame Ifeoma pleaded. Aku, with her kind heart, forgave them. She taught them how to remove the thorny vine and restore their land. Through hard work and genuine repentance, Madame Ifeoma and Neka learned the value of kindness and humility. They worked tirelessly, cutting away the thorny vine and planting new seeds, this time caring for them properly. As they tended to their garden, they began to understand the importance of patience and nurturing. The villagers, seeing their efforts, gradually began to accept them back into the community. Madame Ifeoma and Neka transformed, becoming kinder and more compassionate. With the help of Aku and the villagers, Madame Ifeoma and Neka slowly rebuilt their lives. They treated others with newfound respect and kindness, earning the forgiveness and acceptance of the village. Aku, always willing to help, provided them with seeds from her own magical tree. She taught them how to care for the plants and helped them rebuild their home. As the garden flourished, so did their spirits. They learned to be grateful for what they had and to value the people around them. Madame Ifeoma and Neka's transformation was evident to all. They became active members of the community, participating in village events and helping those in need. The villagers, once skeptical, began to trust them again. Neka, in particular, underwent a significant change. She became friends with the children she once ignored and began to understand the importance of kindness and humility. She often visited Aku, learning from her and seeking advice. With the help of Aku and the villagers, Madam Ifeoma and Neka slowly rebuilt their lives. They treated others with newfound respect and kindness, earning the forgiveness and acceptance of the village. As for Aku, she lived happily with Prince Obina, surrounded by love and prosperity. The magical tree in her garden continued to bear fruit, reminding everyone of the blessings that come from a pure heart. Aku and Prince Obina worked together to improve the lives of their people. They built schools, provided healthcare, and ensured that no one in the kingdom went hungry. Their reign was marked by peace and prosperity, a testament to the power of kindness and generosity. The story of Aku and the forest spirits became a cherished tale in Umuahia, a reminder that kindness, humility, and respect for nature bring true fortune and happiness. It was told to children as a lesson in values, and adults took it to heart, striving to live by the principles it embodied. In the heart of Nigeria, where the forests whisper secrets to those who listen, Aku's legacy lives on, inspiring generations to come. Her story is a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest times, a pure heart can find light and bring about change. And so, the tale of Aku, the girl who found favor with the forest spirits, is told to this day in Umuahia. It is a story that teaches the timeless values of kindness, humility, and the rewards of a pure heart. In the heart of Nigeria, where the forests whisper secrets to those who listen, Aku's legacy lives on, inspiring generations to come. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and press the notification button for more interesting and captivating stories. See you in our next story.